Well, greetings, Gran Turismo enjoyers, and you know what time it is, right? Well, it's time for another segment in the Gran Turismo 2 Randomized Challenge Run Playthrough series. So, last time in this series, the randomizer picked me a somewhat decent front-wheel drive hatchback that unfortunately didn't get to win the GT300 championship, even though I was hoping it would. Yeah, lack of downforce and the fact that it's front-wheel drive and much heavier than all of the cars entering, even with stage 3 weight reduction, is really a killer. Hopefully the randomizer picks something really awesome, or might pick something really crap. You may never know. So, for this part, I'm going to see what kind of car the randomizer will pick. And remember, if the randomizer picks that car, I have to use it. But if it picks a car that hasn't been unlocked yet, then I have to reroll. So, let's go! Yeah! That's what I'm talking about. The randomizer picked us the Ford Mustang GT99. Let's go to the Ford dealership and see what awaits us. Yeah, this is the SN95 Mustang, by the way. Okay, we're gonna get it in Sonic Blue, because why not? Yeah, it has a 260 horsepower. Well, it has 260 horsepower stock, so I might be able to do the second set of Nationals events. This is what we're talking about, man. Okay, here we go. Oops. Yeah, close Discord, just so it doesn't boop in my face. Oh, I forgot. Yeah, I gotta set it to analog mode. Yeah, this Mustang doesn't get used at all. It's probably the least used Mustang in the game. Yeah, it's a bit of hair in my mouth. Yeah, get it out of me. Yeah, I have to watch out for that Sylvia. Yeah, the gearing's really long. Yeah, that Tommy Cairo ZZS was a problem. And the Sylvia as well. So we're gonna have to make do with some upgrades. Yeah, even with 260 horsepower, those two cars seem to be an issue. Yeah, I should have upgraded before I decided to take the plunge. But oh well, you live and learn. Yeah, I don't want to get racing tires for it yet. But I do want to reduce the weight. Because it is a pretty heavy car. Let's see. Probably get some flywheel upgrades on it. Because the gearing is really long. Like, really long. It has enough horsepower to basically complete those events. Yeah, get a clutch upgrade. Okay, here we go. Yeah, and they brought back the Ford racing name. Sports tires. Okay. What else do we need? Brakes. Yeah, and to improve acceleration, I'm going to get the suspension upgrade because of a glitch. Alrighty, I think we're all set. So yeah, I'm going to tweak the ride heights so that the car has much better acceleration. This is because of a glitch. So yeah, minimum front ride heights and maximum rear ride heights. Yeah, like, it's crazy that Seppi, of course, thinks that F-Zero GX is really easy. Although, well, I don't agree with his opinion. But this game has an exploit of its own where you can trick the ride height to figure the car will go downhill. Now we got two of the things. It's amazing how some upgrades can really change a car. In stock form, it's not that great. But when you upgrade it, it can be a really useful car for some races. But nobody ever uses this Mustang. Stay behind, man. These friggin' Tommy Kairos are a menace. Yeah, because it's rear-wheel drive, it doesn't suffer the same front-wheel drive understeer. Well, it doesn't suffer from front-wheel drive understeer like the Focus does. It actually has good braking. I'm honestly surprised that this car is actually pretty good. Although it is the least used Mustang in the game. But Sylvia is a problem. Yeah, Gran Turismo. Well, the devs at Polyphony Digital tried to fix this problem when they made Gran Turismo free, but they added a new glitch. Okay, let's see. Yeah, they added a new glitch where you can trick the center of gravity system. And it worked just, well, it's not nearly the same as how the ride height glitch works in Gran Turismo 2, but still. You can trick the center of gravity system to thinking that. The car doesn't have a lot of weight in the rear or something like that. Yeah, the rear values are not affected by the center of gravity. Yeah, Mustang's all about bald eagles. Yeah, it looks really cool, man. I still like this generation of the Mustang. I actually prefer it over the F-body Camaros. Sorry about that, itchy throat. Oh. Handles nice. Yeah, it has an identical problem to the Focus that even with flywheel upgrades, it still has really long gearing. I honestly have no idea why the big American coupes have to have long gearing. Is it the whole point about big American V8 coupes acceleration because of all the torque that the V8 engine has? Doesn't that seem to be the whole point about big American muscle? Acceleration? Because, well, they are common on drag strips. Okay, go. The other races I could pretty much do some engine upgrades because, well, they have higher power limits. But this one, I think the German Nationals races have a 295 horsepower limits, so I have to make sure I below those power limits. Yeah, I'm gonna call this car the GT300 Slayer, or the Tuner Slayer, because it's a car that, just like the Doom Slayer, slays tuner cars. Yeah, demons are to the Doom Slayer as tuner cars are to the Mustang. Yeah, this car slays tuner cars. And it always has the sound of bald eagles when it zooms past. Because there's nothing more American. The Mustang. Well, aside from a Camaro or Challenger, but still. It's one of the most American cars that you can get. Big V8, rear-wheel drive, you name it. Should have probably kept my mouth shut because I hit the wall. Nowadays, the Ford Mustang's a stock car. Yeah, because, well, they base the newest Ford NASCAR racing car on the Mustang. Well, more specifically, the Mustang Dark Horse. Yeah, it's a shame I didn't get randomized into the SVT variant, but oh well. Here we go. Okay, what's next? Yeah, it has a 345 horsepower limit. This one is 295, so have to keep it below 295. Yeah, this car has front-wheel drive hatchbacks. I mean, the Mustang's known for beating front-wheel drive cars on the track. Have to worry about the Audi S4 because that one's all-wheel drive. I mean, not Audi S4, Audi S3. Sorry about that. Yeah, the S3 is a smaller hatchback. It's pretty much like if a Volkswagen Golf was all-wheel drive. Although there are some high-performance all-wheel drive Golfs that exist in the wild. So it's not too far off. Oh yeah. Kick your butt with this car, man. Went too wide. So tried to take the corner flat out. SLK. Things like a rich guy's Miata. Almost botched it. Let's go on to the American Nationals race. Before we do the British Nationals, I wanted to try out the FR Challenge. because this car is eligible for FR challenge races. Oh no, it's the Plymouth Piranha Spider. Yeah, there's a Ford Cougar in the lineup. It's the European version of the Mercury Cougar, which in my opinion is way better than any personal luxury Cougar. Yeah, I know that's gonna be an unpopular opinion because some people prefer the personal luxury Cougar because it's got big V8 and rear-wheel drive, but believe me, the 99 to 2002 Cougar is a car that at least stays true to the spirit of a Mercury Cougar. A car that's meant for young people and is rather sporty. And it's pretty much one of the more underrated tuner cars, although you have to be aware of its reliability, as it does have reliability issues. It is a fantastic looking car though, and even today it still looks great. And, well, it's pretty much a Ford Mondeo in summer clothes, but there's nothing wrong with the Mondeo. Mondeo is a good car. So is the Contour. The Ford Contour is an underrated sedan. It's based on the Mondeo. And in my opinion, it's much more refined than the Ford Tempo. While the Tempo can be more reliable, the Contour drives better because it's European. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. That cost to be the whole race, man. Just slid out of control just like that. Yeah, it seems to be a problem with rear-wheel drive car physics. Yeah, the Contour's a good car and so is the Mondeo. Anybody who is a fan of the Mondeo is a fan of the Contour. Although it's a shame we don't see any Contours on the road anymore. It's such a good car. It's much more refined than the Tempo and even its Mercury counterpart, the Topaz. And had it been in production for longer, we would have seen it go into the second generation, which would have been based on the next gen Mondeo. In fact, Mexico has a Mexican market Mondeo that replaces the Contour. Yeah, we didn't get a version of the Mondeo until the 2010s when the Fusion got rebadged as the Mondeo in Europe. Yeah, that's Laguna Seca. Yeah, Ford Contour is a good car. Alright, let's do the FR Challenge races before we get to the British Nationals. Because with the British Nationals, you do need to upgrade your car for it to be competitive, because it has lightweight cars. Whereas the FR Challenge can be done easily. Alrighty, here we go. Let's go to special events and do the first race in the FR Challenge. This one requires a limit of 295 horsepower. Can't do FF because it doesn't have the right drivetrain. But it can do FR though. I'm gonna save the other FR challenge races for another time. Yeah, this one is really short because it's on Clubman Stage Route 5. Yeah, it's way over the power limits in Compact Car Cup. Alrighty. Doing good. So far, so good. Yeah, the opponents are really easy here. Let's go, man. That's what we're talking about. A really good car. Might even be one of the best cars I've randomized into so far. So we get for a prize car to randomize into next time. The Slady. Anyways, let's upgrade the car for it to be competitive in British Nationals. Alright, let's get the racing muffler. Oh no. It's got less horsepower than we realized. Yeah, it's probably why it didn't do very well in the first race, because the horsepower figure flat out lies to you. It's one of the biggest fraud mobiles that I've ever seen. Yeah, this is as much of a fraud mobile as the off-roader, because if you look in the dealership, it says it has 260 horsepower, yet its actual power figure is 207. Yeah, it flat out lies to you. After this, I'll attempt the GT300 Championship. so it could get revenge on its Ford Focus brethren. Sounds like it has an inline 6. Oh no. It's that TVR. So it would have been good enough for the Compact Car Cup. Because its power figure lies to you. Although, in real life, the SVT Mustang had less power than advertised, and was recalled because of it. So I had to put production on hold until they could figure it out. Yeah. Also gonna give it another nickname, the Fraud Stang. Because, well, in Gran Turismo 2, it lies to you in its power figure. It's one of the few vehicles in the game that actually lies to you. Yeah. Let's give the Fraud Stang another tune-up. Yeah. Okay, here we go. Any second now. Yeah. CD load times. Gotta love them. Okay, let's give the Fraud Stang a tune-up. Yeah. Let's see if there's any more. Oh, we got the maximum stage of NA tune-ups for this car. .368 horsepower maximum. Yeah, that's insulting for a Mustang. I want to see if we can get a turbo for it. No turbo upgrades. Even though some people put turbos in their Mustangs. Good lord. We're gonna have a bad time with this one. Yeah, it doesn't have very much horsepower fully upgraded, sadly. Even less than the Focus. And you can get a turbo upgrade for the Focus. You can't get a turbo upgrade for this one, so it's rather mediocre when it's fully upgraded. I think I got a clutch upgrade for that one. Definitely gonna have to get brake balance controller. Alright, here we go. Can the Mustang redeem itself? We're gonna give it some wheels. Whoops. Wrong one. Meant to go in the OZ racing section. Because I do want the car to invoke the spirit of a muscle car. Gonna give it muscle car rims. There we go. That looks good. I soaked a lot of money into upgrading this car. Although it's rather anemic when it's fully upgraded. Because it can only go up to 368 horsepower when fully upgraded. Although I'm curious, does it have a displacement upgrade? Because I'm sure that people do increase the bore of this car. No, it does not. I've heard that only the Skylines seem to have the displacement upgrades for some reason. I don't know. Which is strange considering that these kind of upgrades do exist for the Mustang. And pretty much any V8 muscle car. Yeah, it's probably one of the worst muscle cars in the game, as its upgrade potential is very limited. Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Looks like we're gonna have to restart because, well, the Mustang really slipped. It's got good enough acceleration with its stock gear ratios. Yeah, I don't want to race against two of the same car. Yeah, I have no idea why it picks two of the same car sometimes. But I'm pretty sure that there is a good enough variety of GT300 cars for that not to be excusable. Try my best for the car to not slip out of control. Oh, God. Again. Always likes to slip around for some reason. Yeah, went into the grass this time. Okay. Can't adjust the downforce even though it does have a rear wing. And that's bad considering that these cars in this race are, well, they have downforce. on. Come on, stop sliding around, man. Man, they're braking way too fast. Think we should go for racing modification this time. So we can have some downforce to go up against those cars. Yeah. Yeah, without rear downforce, it doesn't stand a chance. No racing modification, which means we're pretty much screwed. Yeah, I just thought that this car would have a racing modification like the other Mustang, but apparently it doesn't. Yeah. Yeah, not even the Focus was able to beat those cars. Yeah, it doesn't seem to be very well at trying to beat the GT300 Championship. Not even the Focus was able to do it. So we're gonna have to go with a change of plan. Yeah, a contingency plan just in case if something doesn't work. We're gonna try the Super Touring Trophy instead. Yeah. None of the cars that I've randomized into were able to beat the GT300 Championship. It doesn't seem to have enough horsepower to do it. I made the same mistake as last time. Yeah, it's because it has the same problem as the Focus. No racing modification, and no rear downforce. In fact, it lacks any form of downforce. And it also slides around at a moment's notice when you go into the grass. Even with racing soft tires, well, racing super soft tires, which is the grippiest tire in the game. Keep in mind, this car is sliding around like crazy and it has racing super softs. Yeah, this car you have to be careful with how you corner it. So why would I make the same mistake again, you might ask? Well, it's because I really hoped that this car would beat the GT300 racing cars, but even it can't do it. All because of its limiting tuning potential. Yeah, limited tuning potential is what really kills an otherwise decent car. No turbo upgrades, and all you get fully tuned is 368 horsepower, which is comparable to the Ford Taurus Show. A freaking sedan. So this car has no chance of beating race cars. As demonstrated, well, as evident by the fact I tried to beat GT300 racing cars with it and didn't get very far. But I do think that there is another race where this car might have a chance in getting another high-paying race car to sell. Yeah, this car is not that good. Yeah, one last race and I'll retire it. Yeah. We're gonna do Grand Touring Car Championship. See what kind of car I got first. Really disappointed with this Mustang. Another Tom Supra. I want the freaking Camaro, man. Looks like this car will have to get sold. Because we can't have duplicates. Can we please get the Camaro? Let's do the trial mountain race. Yeah, if we don't get the Camaro, we'll have to try again. Whoa. I gotta pay attention, man. Yeah, can't even pull away from a Jack Civic. It's embarrassing, man. I know that the Jack Civic is probably one of the harder opponents in this race, but still. When a Mustang can't beat a Civic, you know it's bad. Unless that Civic is the Type R. I don't think that is a Type R Civic, it's an SIR. Which means that the Mustang has disappointed the lineage. Yeah, the 99 Fraudstang GT has disappointed the entire Mustang lineage. son, disappoint. Although it's still better than the Ford Mustang Mach-E, which isn't even a Mustang. It's a freaking electric SUV with a Mustang badge. They should have called it something different. Yeah. So in my opinion, the Ford Mustang GT is a decent car when stock, but when fully upgraded, it's not that great. Yeah, it's rather disappointing when it's fully upgraded, considering that it has considerably less horsepower than both Cougar variants. Yeah, the Ford Cougar and Mercury Cougar, which can be optioned with a turbocharger. But this car can't be optioned with a turbocharger. So you're stuck with naturally aspirated upgrades. Yes! We got the Camaro! We got the Camaro, man. This will be handy for another video. Anyways, let's end the video with the Grand Touring Car Trophy. So we can have a thumbnail. Oops. Yeah, we definitely do need to extend the gearing. There, that's much better. Because midfield is a really fast track. Come on. That was close. Actually, I'll use the machine test for the thumbnail because I wanted the car to be on the high banks. And I want to do a top speed run. To see how fast this car is before I retire it. There we go. Now let's do the top speed run. I want to see how fast this car is compared to the Focus. Yeah, the Focus wasn't that fast. Yeah, we do not need a race car. I got 437,000 credits right now. So the sky's the limits on what kind of car we'll randomize into next. Yeah, even though this car was able to beat the second half of the Nationals race, its tuning potential is unfortunately limited. Yeah, 193 miles per hour. Yeah, it's faster than the Focus, even though the Focus has more horsepower. So in my opinion, the Mustang GT is probably a car that's not recommended. I don't recommend you to get this variant of the Mustang GT. If you want a good SN195 Mustang, get the other version, the SVT Cobra. The GT is rather mediocre. So if you want a good SN 195 Mustang, or SN95 Mustang, I think I've been saying that wrong, SN95 Mustang, then get either the 98 or 99 Cobra variants. Don't get this one. And now, it's time to retire the Fraud Stang. We won't be needing it anymore. It's time to let go. Yeah, it's time to retire the Fraud Stang. Yeah, this is one of the very few vehicles in the game that actually lies to you. But anyways, it's time for me to sign off. If you enjoy this video, or if you like this video, you know what to do. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell just in case I haven't already done so. Catch you guys next time, and peace out.